This is Xander Breach, and this is my Weight Loss Journey 2, Part 28. Before I continue, I must ask you to please watch the warning video. Please watch Season 1 if you haven't, and watch the first 7 episodes. If you start here, you will be lost. Okay. So, after a week of having my crush in my head and surviving a week of GED school, it was now spring break. It was later in March of '07, and what can I say? There was a lot going on. With that said, I always thought to myself that, it's going to be a nice spring break. I mean, the best thing about it is going to the workshop and seeing the girl I'm having a major crush on. So what happened is let's just say we go to the workshop and I am totally looking forward to seeing her. That was the only reason why I liked going to workshop now, was seeing my crush. We get there and she's happy to see me. She was sitting down, relaxing, and she gives me a hug and I give her a hug back, and getting that hug from her felt like having a hug from someone I haven't seen in God knows how long. So the one thing I kept in mind was, okay, we're getting somewhere here. Or so I thought. So I kept in mind, I need to keep my distance considering she's taken. So she decided to walk with me and we talked. We walked around the workshop and we just sharing a really nice conversation before her man gets there. And one of the things she told me would later be the key for me to get some guts and ask her out, or how I put it, tell her how I feel. The one thing she mentioned to me is that if she knew someone else was going to be here that's cute, she would have never got with the guy she's right now with. And I knew she was talking to me, because when she looked at me and told me that, she smiled. And I'm like, I had that thought in my head, like, she's interested. Only reason why she's not dating me is because of the guy she's with. I had to keep my feelings to myself, and I had to keep in mind that keeping a distance so her man doesn't get mad at me for messing around with her. So I had to keep my cool, in other words. So, lo and behold, her man gets there. She's like looking at me and she said she had to go to him, and I'm like, okay, go ahead and go. I went ahead, let her go to him, kept to myself. But during that spring break week, I noticed that the guy she was with wasn't even spending time with her. He was spending more time with his friends than her, leaving her lonely. I would go up to her, ask her what's going on, and she would tell me that her man doesn't want to spend any time with her. And I would see it with my own 2 eyes. I would be in the back on a picnic table looking at this guy and thinking, she deserves so much better. Why is she with this guy? Why? He's not even giving her the time of day. He's not spending any time with her. Beautiful girl like that should be with someone who gives her the time of day. Like, I don't blame him for spending time with his friends, but when you have your girl around, spend some time with her too. Do a little bit of both. Why just do one thing? It was ridiculous. And he would do that. It got so bad one day during that week that I saw her right close to the fence where a basketball hoop was at, literally crying her eyes out. I go up to her and she told me to leave her alone. Walked away with that mindset thinking she deserves so much better. And the staff wasn't that supportive. They got on her for crying, and I'm thinking to myself, the woman's crying because her man's not spending time with her. Could you at least be a little supportive? So it got to that point where I'm thinking, this isn't love. Where's the support? Why isn't he spending time with her? And it got to the point where, yes, I had to mind my own business. But in a sense, I felt so bad for her. It was like she gets into this relationship and this guy wants practically nothing to do with her. And that just goes to show you, here's a lesson for y'all. And I can actually give this lesson because if this was back then, I'd be one to talk. And unfortunately for me, I would learn this lesson the hard way. Never rush into a relationship. When you first meet someone, never rush into a relationship. That was the downside to this relationship. They're both dating right away when they first met. And the reason I say that is because the relationship will fail. You don't know the person. So why do you want to rush into the relationship? This is what happens when you rush into a relationship. You know, it doesn't turn out to be love. It turns into something disastrous. It turns into lust. You get to the point where you're like, I don't know this person. Why am I with this person? You want to be with someone you connect with on 3 different levels. Spiritually, emotionally, and physically. But as a Christian, I believe God should be in the middle of the relationship. But always keep that in mind. Never rush a relationship. Because in long term, it will fail if you rush. Be their friend. Okay? You be their friend, that the person that you're interested in, and see if there's a connection. If there is no connection, then you know you didn't rush into a relationship, but you still have that friendship. Just a food for thought. Because that's why the relationship between the girl I was crushing on at the time and the guy she was with was not working. If you see my logic now. So back to the story. So most of that week was spent doing a lot of spying. And I gotta tell you, I learned a few things. And yeah, I did find out what she truly had that made her wear the leg brace I was explaining in part 26. She basically jumped off a roof and broke her ankle. that's why she was wearing a leg brace. But I knew she'd heal up soon. And I kind of felt bad for her, but at the same time, it's like, why would you do that? I guess she had some fun and she went a little too far. So, during that time, it was getting close to the weekend, the end of spring break, and I think the staff had something special planned for everyone. And at the time, I really didn't know, but I was eager to find out. You know, go out, do something, have some fun. I mean, after all, my crush will be there, and that gives me extra time to hang out with her. But what I was soon about to uncover is that, just because I hang out with her, I still had to keep my distance. Because, believe it or not, she was still a taken woman. And I was hoping that she would soon come to her senses with the guy she was currently with at the time. So, this has been part 28. Y'all take care, and God bless you. Bye.